previous recording, we have talked about the one category of a reaction. They were the acid reaction with the metal oxides and hydroxides. You can call them bases or alkalis if soluble, metal carbonates, right? Now, the second category is here. The second category is known as displacement reaction. So, here's a definition for the displacement reaction. So, displacement reactions are those where more reactive element displaces the less reactive elements, and these elements can be your metals or they can be your metals or they can be your non-metals. So both metals and non-metals, they displaces the less reactive metals or non-metal from the compounds. So displacement reaction is they are the very important reactions. They are for the metals and non-metals both. Now here the displacement reaction, we are talking about the metals. So these are the two reactions which are mentioned here. The first one, for this, what we are supposed to know, we are supposed to know the reactivity series. We need to know the reactivity series is a specific series where we have the metals from different groups. Okay, now this again you must have known in your O levels. So this, there is a certain elements coming from different groups and we arrange them on the basis of their reactivity. Now I make my student learn it through mnemonic because there are a few elements, around 10 to 12 elements, which we have to remember in the right sequence. So I have a mnemonic and every teacher give their own mnemonic, and some of them are very commonly used by the teachers. So the mnemonic for the reactivity series of metal, we say that please send cat, monkeys, and zebras in tin, lead, hired cages, make sure padlocked good. Okay, now this phrase, please send cat, monkeys, and zebras in 10 lead hired cages, make sure padlock good. Now, this phrase actually depicts different elements here. Please stands for potassium. Okay, now send stands for sodium, cat stands for calcium, right? Monkey stands for magnesium. Fine. And stands for aluminium, zebra stands for zinc, in stands for iron, tin stands for tin, lead is lead, hired is H, cages is copper, make is mercury, sure is basically silver, padlock is platinum, and good is gold. So we have this reactivity series where the one on the top, we have the most reactive metal, and at the bottom we have the least reactive metals. Okay, least reactive metal. Now we can see that these two are coming from group 1, potassium and sodium coming from group 1, calcium and magnesium coming from group 2, aluminium belongs to group 3, and then we have the transition metal here. So the elements which are belonging to different part of the periodic table, they are arranged in this way. So we often on refer to them we refer to this, what you call it, reactivity. Now, as I've already told you, the ones which are on the top, they are most reactive. If let's suppose we have the most reactive, let's say potassium, sodium, calcium, or magnesium, whatever, and they are made to react with the compound of the least reactive. So the displacement reaction take place. As we have already seen above the definition, it says that displacement reaction are where the more reactive elements or the metals, they replaces or displaces the less reactive. So the ones which are on the top will be displacing the less reactive from the compound. So we can see the magnesium is above copper and copper is very much here. So being more reactive, it is going to push the copper out of this compound, okay, making copper, displacing the copper and itself forming the compound with the sulfate. So such reactions are known as displacement reaction. Okay. Similarly, aluminium is placed here. Aluminium is here and iron is here. So aluminium being more reactive is going to push the iron from its compound, and it's going to form aluminium oxide and is going to displace aluminium. So such are the displacement reaction, and the same displacement reaction take place in the non-metals as well. Okay, they take place in the non-metals as well, and specifically in non-metals we deal with the halogens. Okay, when we talk about the halogens, they are basically group 7 element. So on the top we have fluorine, then we have chlorine, then we have bromine, and then we have iodine, and in the end we have astatine. Now halogens, they exist in the diatomic form, that means two atoms together in nature, and that is why I have written them as F2Cl2 Br2I2. Now the one on the top is the most reactive here, and the one at the bottom is least reactive. So if I have a reaction of halogen, let's suppose I have a reaction of chlorine with potassium iodide, so again a displacement will take place because chlorine being more reactive, look here, it's more reactive than the iodine, so it is going to push the iodine out. It's going to give you potassium chloride and it is going to give you iodine, right? So this is iodide ion, potassium iodide, and it will be liberating iodine. So when you talk about the halogens, you write down their name, but when you talk about the ions, so you add "ide" to this. So this is going to be your fluoride, this is going to be chloride, okay? And then same goes for bromide. Fine. So these are small technicalities we are supposed to know, right? So when the halogens are there in their natural form, unreactive form, we call them chlorine, fluorine, bromine, okay, ending with "ine." And when they form the ions, so we have their ions named as "ide." So here chlorine is displacing iodide ions from potassium iodide, forming potassium chloride itself and forming iodine. So such are the displacement reactions which are shown by non-metals. So both the metals and non-metals, they show the displacement reactions. So I have given you the example here. Now we need to understand one thing very importantly, so that these displacement reactions, all the displacement reactions, they are redox and they are exothermic reactions. Okay, so without even a second thought, we should be knowing that if a reaction is displacement, it is going to be redox. We'll be talking about what a redox reaction in our next sessions. Now redox are those reactions where the element undergoes, where a substance undergo the oxidation and reduction simultaneously in a chemical reaction. And exothermic will be studying again, these are those reactions which liberate or release out energy. So all the displacement reactions are for sure redox, and they are for sure they are exothermic. Okay, now what are the difference between the reactions? Reaction 1 take place here, they're talking about now when they have given us reaction 1 and 2, there's something more to ponder upon it. So the displacement reaction, they take place in the solid substances as well, where all the components are solid. So they're talking about the reaction 2 is where all the components solid, and the reaction 1 is where some of the components are also aqueous. Okay, so let's see what they say about these two. Reaction 1 take place in the aqueous solution, but the reaction 2 is only in solid. Reaction 1 occur without the need for energy. It's easily done where you have an aqueous solution. Okay, no energy is needed there. Whereas the reaction 2, they are all solid, so you need to, in order to make them react together, you have to break the bonds, and in order to break the bonds, the reaction 2 require energy there. So you need to heat it in this reaction 2. Reaction 1 is likely to be done in the laboratory, but the reaction 2 is done in specific purpose in the industry. So it liberates this require large amount of heat energy, so it is done under certain circumstances, special conditions, and when the need arises, specifically in the industrial processes. Okay, so that is what they're talking about. Then they are talking about here, they are giving you that this is the displacement reactions taking place in the non-metals. I've already talked about it. So the halogens, so more reactive displacing the less reactive. So chlorine, we have the order as fluorine as the most reactive, then we have a chlorine, then fluorine, chlorine, bromine, then we have iodine, right? So the more reactive displaces the less reactive, and that is how the bromine is being displaced and the potassium chloride is formed. Same way, we can also construct the ionic equation because we know that whichever is an aqueous solution. Now, chlorine, we can also write it down in the form of a gas because chlorine normally exists in the gas. Okay, so the remaining, we will be splitting them up and we will be same goes for bromine. Bromine, we can say it's in liquid form. So only the aqueous ions we are going to split up and we are going to cancel out the commons, and the remaining is going to be a complete balanced ionic equation. Okay, so this is the second category we have done. Now coming to the third category, and this is a checkpoint question, which is your assignment. So assignment, please make sure you do the assignment. So after the two assignment, this is assignment 2 on the displacement reaction, and this is your assignment 1, which is based on your, this is the task 1. I'll discuss this in the next class. This is task 1, which is related to your acid reactions. Okay, with metal acid reaction with metal oxide, hydroxide, and carbonate. So this is assignment number 1. Please take a snapshot and do solve it. Okay, and I'm again going back to the assignment 2. You can take a snapshot and please solve it. I'll be discussing this assignment 2, and this is related to your displacement reactions. Okay, reactions.